Greeting everyone. Welcome back to Power BI Snippet video number 3. As I said in the previous video, I'm about to do the data preparation inside Power BI Desktop. This time I'm going to use a flat file, probably a CSV file out of the list. And I'm going to just, once I correct the data using a Power Query editor, I'm going to just bring it to my Power BI Desktop modeling and then create a wizard out of it. And I'm going to filter the data and show how the reports can be viewed. Let's jump into it. So I'm going to just go back to my Power BI desktop, and this is the first screen of Power BI desktop. And before I get into the data, I would like to see what is the data that I'm going to play around with. So I have a data here called population of few countries with futuristic numbers available here. And I'm going to use the first data alone. In our next video, I'll show you how to combine all these data together as one data and create a report out of it. So I'm going to pull this data. So before I pull it, I want to just open and see it, how the data looks like. I'm using a notepad file to open the data, so it will be a little faster than normal. If I use a normal CSV file opening, it will take a little more than normality. And when I open the data, I can see that my first data itself has a bug in it. And I don't see the data looks proper. So if the data is not proper, so what I will do in Power BI Desktop is I will use the transform tab. If you're using Windows 10 versionality, you won't see this transform tab. You will see edit query options. Probably I'll show you interface variances as we go forward. Now I'm trying to use them a little faster, so I wish to use a transform tab. So when I click the transform tab, as I told you in the previous video, we deal with two different windows here. My first window is a Power BI desktop. The second window is my Power Query editor. So you would have seen the same, almost the same screen in my video number 1, where I've used the Power Query editor inside an Excel. So I'm using the same Power Query editor, but I'm using inside the Power BI desktop. So now I'm going to import the data. So I'm going to go back to my new source. Then it gives you a drop down of data. Let's see what are the other data that we have here. What are the types of data that I can import inside Power BI desktop. So first I'm going to just go back to the last line called more, and you can see that there is a small window comes up here, which shows you multiple dimension of data that I can import. I can import a data from a flat file or from a database, Power Platform, Azure databases, online services, and other services. So when I say all, it shows all of them here. But let me just pick up the file here. So you can see these are the data that I can bring it as a flat file. So I can bring it an Excel file, text and CSV, XML, JSON file, probably a folder in here, a PDF file, and a SharePoint folder. When I go to database, it starts from a very basic Access database to SQL Server, Postal, SQL Server, SAP HANA, SAP Business Warehouse, Messenger Services, Amazon Redshift, Impala, Vertica. So you name most of the different databases that we use, all of them are available, and Snowflakes is also there. Then when I go to the Power Platform, this is a new dimension. And when I go to Azure, I can even bring in an online data into our list. You can see the list of Azure data that we have. Certain data are beta version still. And when I go to the online services, you can see other than Azure, what else you can do. You can bring a data from a Dynamic 365, SharePoint online list, Salesforce, Google Analytics, Adobe Analytics, and so on. And when I finally go to my others, I can bring in the Python, Spark, R programming, Hadoop, HDFS files. All these files can be connected to the Power BI desktop. But now I'm going to use only the base part that I'm going to bring in a CSV file into it. So I'm going to say text and CSV, and I'm going to scroll down. I'm going to take the population window, and I'm going to take the first file into our list. So when I bring in this data, immediately it pops up a small window to me. As it showed in Excel, it shows the same logic here. So it's going to show you 200 line items as a preview to us, the first 200 line items rather, and you can see there is a lot of bug in it. So you can see that the heading is coming 2 lines below and everything is weird here. So I'm going to just give an OK. And when I get into the Power Query editor, so you can see I have few more menus like I had in my Power BI desktop. Power BI desktop has 3 menus. Here I have probably 4 or 5 menus available here. I'm going to use the first 2 options in this video, That is a home tab and transform tab. So in my data, what I'm going to bring is I'm going to create a small thumb rule data here. So I have a small PDF that I built for our list. So I'm going to just open the PDF and show you what I'm going to do with this data. So I'm going to just open my data and I'm going to bring in the PDF to work around for us. So let me open my PDF, what I've lastly used. Yeah. Oh my goodness, I think that I moved it somewhere else. Oh my goodness, okay. Let me bring it from my drive. I'm sorry about that. I'm just taking a little longer than normal. So probably I should have done this homework a little before. Unfortunately, I didn't do that. So now I got my data. This is what I'm about to bring inside my Power BI desktop. So I'm going to bring these data into a list. And this is the data that I have in my Power Query editor. So I have around 9 columns here. But what I require in my PDF is only a 6-column data. So let me remove all the unwanted columns here. So first of all, let me adjust the data so that I can see what column I can have to retain, what column I have to remove it. So let me remove the first line item. If you're using an Excel, so you'll just select the first line item and delete it. But here we have everything as a methodological way to do it. So I'm going to remove the top row. Then it asks you how many rows you would you like to remove it. I'm going to say I'm going to remove the first row. So I'm going to give 1 and give an enter. Automatically my first row is removed, and you can see the same window comes into play. On the right hand side you have your applied steps, so you can see whatever changes that I do in here will all be recorded in this point. Then I want to bring the headers to the first point. I'm going to say use the first row as headers. If you are an Access database user, you might know about this line, and I'm going to just use that so it jumped to the first line. And now I want to rename it, so I'm going to rename this according to the PDF. I'm going to call this as country ID, and I'm going to call this as country year, and then I'm going to just make it as age group. And these are the 4 line that I have here, and it says gender and population, but unfortunately I have something else in here. So I have an age group start, age group span, and I have population male, female, and total population. So I think that I have some unwanted fields here. So let me remove this. To remove this, I can manually select one by one and remove it, whatever the field that I don't want. Or I can use a choose option in my Power Query editor. So which says that whatever you want to keep in here, give the tick mark ready. Whatever you don't want it, uncheck the tick mark there. So I don't want this, this, and this, and given okay. So now you can see that all my unwanted data are removed. But my PDF says I have a gender and population, but I have the genders and population coming in 2 different columns. So I'm going to swap the data here. So I'm going to just switch the columns into rows and rows into columns. For this, I'm going to use transform tab. Then I'm going to use an icon here called unpivot column. It translates the current column, whatever I select, and switches to its other way around. So now I'm going to select these 2 columns and then go back to the transform tab, click the unpivot column. You can just automatically it jumps the list, and I'm going to rename this as gender, and I'm going to call this as population. So now I got my data to some extent perfect, but I need to check whether my data's inside is also right. I should not have a blank space in between. So let me see whether I have anything blank in here. I'm going to load all the data. So it's going to take a little bit of time because I have some around 11-12 MB of data that I have here. So I don't think I have any blank in between. So if there is any blank on top, it would have been shown on top. So I didn't show anything in here. That's fine. And I have a database between 1950 to 1999. So let me just see whether I have anything in this column. So it goes to each and every line item, and then it shows you that. I don't have a bug in here. I'm happy about it. I have to do this little slowly because that is the way we do the data clearances, and we make the data work for us according to our requirement. So, but if you closely watch here, I have a class interval data which says an age group starts from end. I have a date in between here, and I have one more pointers. I have 100 plus here, and I have an 80 plus here. So now I'm going to replace all of them. So it's like our Excel find and replace. I'm going to select what I want to change, and I can either use a home tab or a transform tab. In home tab, I have a replace value comes in the transform. In transform tab, I have a replace value here. So I'm going to click this. It finds the value for me automatically. I'm going to just convert that into a numerical value 5-9, enter. Then I'm going to just replace this also as 10-14. And I saw 100 plus 80 plus here, so I'm going to convert this into the list. So I want to see what I can convert this as. So when I open this list, the dates are all gone. The data are little okay right now, but I have two 80 pluses value here. So I don't want two of them here. Let me make it as one. So I have 80 plus, I have 80-84. So let me convert this 80 plus as 80-84. So let me just scroll back, and again I'm going to just replace the value 80-84. And sometimes what happens is sometimes we finding a data in this will become very tough for us. So I'm going to just say replace value, and I'm going to feed the value here 100 plus. I don't want that as 100 plus. I'm going to say 100-100 so that the data will all look similar. So now when I go down to this point, I don't see any bug as such. All my data are similar throughout my column. So it says from 0 to 4 to 100 to 100, all the values will come one below the other. So now you can see that I have a data comes out pretty perfectly. So I don't see anything. The 80 plus is gone. The 100 plus is gone. There is no date in between my list. And what I've done is perfect. Now I feel if you want to change it, you can change this. It says pop female and pop male. That's a population female and male. I want just male and female here. So I'm going to replace the pop male as male and pop female as female. So I think that I have done the corrections. So all my data are perfect here. Perfect. So now I think my data are perfect. If I want to check whether the data are perfect or not, now we can see I've done a lot of changes here. All my changes are recorded in my applied steps. So now I'm going to go back to home tab, and I'm going to just check whether this is right or wrong. If I missed anything here, so I'm going to just say apply. Then it pops up a small window and it goes through the data completely. And in this data, if there is an error, then it is going to shout at me saying that there is a bug in it. If this particular query appliances, or it's applying the changes that I've made to the query, once this query updates, screen disappears without any error message, then whatever I did it perfectly. So I think that I got my data really well. If not, I'm going to find out what mistake that I've committed, and I have to go through the columns again and see what mistakes that I have committed here. So at the moment, it is not showing any error as such. So it's going through the raw process. Yeah, yes, it has added 3.57 lakhs of rows in here, and I don't see any bug in it. So I'm going to just close and apply it and bring it to my Power BI desktop. So when I go back to my Power BI desktop, you can see that this data will be added to my fields. So all my data are added to my fields. Now I made the first two options of the data that I said earlier. So I prepared my data. I moved the data to my Power BI desktop called data modeling. Now I'm going to create a data visualization, data vis. Let's see how to do that. So I'm going to just go back to my list. I'm going to create a small condition here. So let's see what is the visualization is going to come into play. So I'm not going to choose any visualization as such. I'm going to just tick the data here. Let's see what systems is going to take it as a default value. So I'm going to just tick the country. When I tick the country, automatically the system understands it is a geographical field, and it's going to give you a globe visualization here. So it's going to show a globe here, and I'm going to add a population here. But unfortunately, I get a nice report. I'm happy about that, but unfortunately, I may not able to figure out which country has a third highest population. 20th highest population country is what? I really don't know that. So this may look nice on the visualization front, but this is not the best point if I'm comparing, or if I'm going to jot down the top 10 country or top 10 uh, world populated country in the world. So I want to see the population by country now. So to do that, I'm going to switch this visualization to a normal staked column chart. So when I click the staked column chart, you can see all my data are coming up here. I have way too much of information here, so I can scroll down. I can see all the 201 countries will appear here. I don't want this. I want only the top 10 of this. So I'm going to just come back to my filter, and I'm going to just say I want the country, and I'm going to filter that by the top 10 number of country with the population in it. So I'm going to bring the population to my by value, and I'm going to apply the filter. That gives you all the list. So now I want to do the corrections of this so that the data looks a little bigger. So I'm going to use the visualization below option. So I have 3 more options here. This is not what I've explained to you earlier, because if I explain it even earlier, it will not be that effective. The fields are here, and I want to color the country. Then I can add the legend to the country here, so you can see different colors are coming up for the countries. And I can add the country's population here by adding a data label. And I'm going to just raise the size to maybe 12 or 14. So the data looks nice, and I wish to do them for the x-axis too, so that even the population size can be seen here betterly. So I will say 12. So which country? Maybe 14 rather. So you can see the country is better. That's nice. So I'm going to just add the y-axis also, so I can see the number of the list. So do I have? Yes, I'm going to raise this to maybe 14. Yes. And now I want the title to be in the center of my list. So I'm going to go back to the title, make it center, and I'm going to make it even bigger. So I'll say 20 of them. And I don't want the legends to come here. So let me remove the legends, so you can see the countries really very nicely. So now I get the visualization of top 10 country in the world. If you want to export this to a PDF, you can do that. Just go back to your file option, export to a PDF document, then it automatically exports the data for you. So now we can report this to anybody in a PDF right now. So now we got the PDF here. So top 10 countries, China is number 1 in 1999. Next is India, United States of America, Indonesia, Russian Federation, Brazil, Japan, Germany, Bangladesh, and Pakistan. So this is how we will build our visualization. This is how we export it so that we can share it with this. Hope you enjoyed my video. You have learned something new on how to bring a data preparation and add it to a data model and Power BI desktop, and how to add a Viz to the Power BI desktop. In our next week video, we will be adding more data, and we'll be seeing a dashboard in Power BI with an interaction in it. Let's see how to do that. Wait for another 6 days. Next Thursday, you will be getting the other 2 videos, which talks about how to complete a data preparation if multiple situation is given to you by your management. Hope you enjoy the video. Stay updated, stay safe, happy analyzing. Thank you. Bye-bye.